From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. We're talking about a story inside of a story inside of a story. It's called the NeverEnding Story.
No, this is not Inception. This is not Inception. There's
Technically it is.
Inception in this, but this is not the movie Inception.
Technically, there is a double Inception in this movie.
Yeah, I was going to say, technically it is. We're talking about the NeverEnding Story all the way back from 1984. Susie calls it a classic, and other people do as well. But let's get into it. But before that, let's talk about the people that are joining us today. It's our normal panel. What's going on, Rob?
Hello. I'm the one who recommended this movie first.
Really?
And then Susie mandated it.
Oh, well, I guess so. Will, what's up?
I've been after him for a while to watch this. You just added fuel to the fire.
I haven't watched this movie. I'm here for moral support.
It had a dragon in it, Will.
Bruh, I meant to watch it today. I did not have time. I am sorry. I'm here for moral support.
I mean, Rusty's here for moral support, but he at least watched the movie.
Well, what's going on, Susie?
I love Rusty too.
What?
Not much. However, I would like to point out that there is actually a movie called Inception, and this is completely different.
Is it different, though? The only difference is it's got Leonardo DiCaprio.
The biggest difference, this is better.
Okay, let's get into it, because I have a lot to say about it.
I'm aware you have a lot to say about it. You and I are probably going to have a fight at some point.
Probably.
About this.
Probably. So let's go into it. Susie, ask the first question.
That's the first question. What are your thoughts on the overall plot? Rob, you can go first on this one.
All right, well, I found the overall plot actually weak. Because of what this movie is supposed to do.
What's it supposed to do?
It is supposed to set up a trilogy. This is style that is substance. The substance is style, and it's the style is set up. This movie is basically set up for the next two movies. That's all it basically boils down to. You get a little character development of Bastion, and you get some of the fantastical creatures. This movie was basically saying, okay, you know the Dark Crystal? Yeah, do better than that.
Wait, there's two movies after this?
This has two sequels.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it did really well.
Why?
Hi, Silas.
They say hi.
Hi.
So, because, again, this is a classic. When you grew up in the 80s, and I found out that my mother watched this with me. So my mother's the one who got into it. And like, for me, if they had just left this as a standalone movie, I'd be content. I would be fine. As it is, I can't watch NeverEnding Story 2. I have to skip 2 and go straight to 3. I don't know why. I do know why, but we're not getting into that because that involves covering 2, and I don't feel like doing that.
Are the sequels just called like NeverEnding Story 2 and NeverEnding Story 3, or do they have like different names?
No, they're 2 and 3.
Okay.
3 might have a subtitle, but I'm not aware of it. AJ, what do you think about the plot of this movie?
Outside of its Inception with kids, that's pretty much about it. Honestly, it felt like I'm kind of with you, Rob, but I really didn't like it at all. Like it sucks because I went in there, everybody was saying it's a good movie, it's a good time, it's got a couple sad moments.
The worst part is, AJ, is I recommended this movie to you knowing you'd probably hate it.
I just thought it was
But-
stupid.
I'm a little hurt,
I-
but that's okay. I'm fine. I
found
care.
it boring. Like, granted, my favorite character was the dragon that I can't remember his name.
I mean,
Thor!
not everyone's gonna like a movie, AJ. Like you are allowed to not like it.
No, I went in there hoping that I was gonna like it. I'm like watching it this morning before work, and I'm like, this is stupid. I almost just shut it off and just jumped on the podcast tonight. Was like, yeah, I went through the first 10, 15, 20 minutes. I was like, yeah, click.
That's the thing. That's actually a common reaction to this. And it has to, I feel like it has to do with like what genre of movies that you're into and like what you grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
And like because my upbringing was so eclectic, I loved everything. So like I love all really bad movies. That's probably such it. Anyway, I went to go find the covers. Because yes, I own all three.
The next chapter.
The next chapter. And wait, hold on, because 3 has a subtitle too. Escape from Fantasia.
I felt like they pretty much just did Escape from Fantasia here.
The only thing I hate about this one, about 3, is they changed the actor for Bastion. It's a different actor for Bastion.
So Susie, what else you got?
Thoughts on the graphics?
I mean, if Jim Henson was part of it, I would 100% think, just for the fact of how some of the creatures looked and everything. Unless the dragon was just a full animatronic.
I don't know on that one. I think it was. I think it was mostly animatronics.
Because I do like the design of them. Rob?
This movie definitely felt like they built the animatronics, then built a story around them. That's like, because you have this opening scene in the Ivory Tower with all these fantastic looking creatures, the ones with face on each side, the ones with twin faces, the giant monolith heads. You get the rock biter, the freaking goblin dude on the bat, and it feels like this place was just designed to look nice and nothing else.
Okay, I gotta look up something.
What you looking up?
So the back of 3 actually states animatronic creatures by Jim Henson's Creature Shop. And I'm wondering if they either made new ones for 3 or if they reused the old ones from the first 2 movies.
Wow, I can't believe I pulled that from the look of it.
Yeah, well, 3 didn't come out until like 90 something.
Yeah.
Like 96?
It was a long jump between 2 and 3, I think.
Yeah, it was, which is why they had to use a different actor for Bastion.
I'm just proud of myself that I pulled like stuff looked like it was a Jim Henson stuff.
Well, here's the problem. You're in the 80s. Like 80% of everything you're going to see with animatronics is Jim Henson.
Okay, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
So like it was a really good guess because you could have landed in the 20% that wasn't Jim Henson.
And I think the other one was the people from Star Wars. Something
Light and
Illusion?
Magic?
Light and Magic.
Yeah.
They are the only other people in that space that could do like the prosthetic designs and stuff. But yeah, this movie was mostly geared towards spectacle and nothing else.
Susie, what's the next question? Unless you want to talk about how the characters looked.
See, I preferred the animatronics over like CGI. I feel like there's more realism
Okay.
to them. The biggest thing though that I hate, so they're talking about doing a remake of the NeverEnding Story. Now, don't know how everybody feels about that, but I don't want to see it remade. One, because it's gonna be hard enough for me to watch it after hearing everybody's points of views on this, but I don't feel like they could remake this in a way that it would hit the same way. But the only way they should remake it is either to update the plot so it's a little more fulfilling. But they also should make it where it's one movie, and yeah, you can have other movies, but make it so it's one movie instead of building up for three. So I mean, for me, I love the animatronics. I love the graphics in this, but like I also kind of want to see how they would do it with CGI and see if it would be better.
Well, I
I'm
think
thinking it would be more like the Age of Resistance Dark Crystal, where they combined the CGI and the puppetry.
Yeah, see that I wouldn't mind either.
didn't they do that with Labyrinth too?
They did that with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom and Jurassic World Age of Extinction.
Okay.
Labyrinth was all practical, I think, except for the background shots.
Oh, well, that's kind of where my brain was going. It's another Jim Henson thing.
Mm-hmm.
No, I swear it was just Davey Bowie on set. Magic just happened.
Usually, yes.
Do you have a favorite character?
The dragon.
Falcor.
I really enjoyed his design. And that he was lucky. Just like my dragon. Clouth.
Magic
lucky.
reference.
He's very lucky. Kindred summons. What about you, Rob?
My favorite character would have to be Treyu. Basically the main character.
Yeah.
Because he's just dealing with the absurdities of everything. And it really can't be bashing for me because he's basically just a narrator.
So I just learned.
Oh Jesus.
Brace yourselves.
So what's his name? Brian Johnson is the one who did the animatronics for the NeverEnding Story.
The same dude with.
This was filmed in Germany.
Yeah, you can tell by the last.
And if you think about a budget for a film in Germany versus a budget for a film in America, it was significantly less.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of wish they had a bigger budget. Not for the animatronics, but just for more story.
Story really doesn't get. You saw the animatronics in that. They went whole horse. Story is only limited by the mind of the creator itself.
And how much you can pay the actors. Because the actors aren't going to say if they're not getting paid.
You had 2 kid actors being your titular things and everything else being animatronic puppets that you could have voiced by anyone.
Literally.
Yeah.
All you needed to do was throw some kid. And I'll admit, the kid playing Atreyu, probably one of my favorite child actors. Like, I like him even more than Macaulay Culkin.
Be still my heart.
Yes, I know.
Someone likes a child actor?
He is the only child actor I kind of like. Because he is, and it has to do with a lot of what shit they put him through.
Yeah, he got a little muddy. Just a little.
Just a tiny bit. See, for me, my favorite character would have to be Falcor. But again, I watched this maybe 5 years ago
Mm-hmm.
and looked at my mother. I hadn't even finished the movie. Yelled to my mother who was in the kitchen. I was like, "Can I adopt a Falcor?" So yeah, somebody needs to get on that. I need to adopt a Falcor because Falcor is amazing. He's a luck dragon. He's pretty. So I'm gonna ask the two people who don't like this movie, should there have been a sequel?
Probably not. I felt like, if anything, they closed it up with Fantasia getting rebuilt and everything, with every wish he made.
I don't remember what the next one's about.
Yes, I do believe so, because this movie was designed to need a sequel, because of all the other shit they just gave you like 2-3 seconds of showing. Like, here's this awesome thing. Okay, you're gone now. Here's this awesome thing. Okay, you're gone now. Here's this awesome thing. Okay, you're gone now. Here's this awesome thing. Okay, here's horribly traumatized, and then it's out.
I also feel like, because I'm reading the synopsis for the second one, I feel like they probably could have stopped after 2, but they do where you get enveloped in an adventure that's not yours, it's not your story, but you're participating in it. And then you have to return home and participate in your own story. I hear a my. Hey, my.
As a child.
My. So I feel like in that respect, it needed a sequel, but I also agree with AJ in that it kind of closed everything up nicely, which is probably partially why I skipped the second.
To be honest, with it resetting everything, you have Atreyu with, the horse and everything. It felt like when everything got reset that the stakes weren't real. Because once he fixed everything, everything was back to normal.
But he still has to go home and deal with the bullies.
Not anymore.
Which he does on the back of a dragon.
Yes.
They ain't fucking with him anymore. He'll just pull the dragon out of his ass.
Which actually becomes a plot point in the next 2 movies.
Yep.
The fact that everything in Fantasia starts coming out of Fantasia and into the real world.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like Enchanted.
Like,
they do it better in the third movie.
Yeah, you see the people at the end of that movie when he's chasing down the kids on the dragon. Everyone else is screaming and losing their shit too because they see the magic dragon in the sky coming at them.
So, I think it's a sequel that's in the eyes of the beholder.
I guess if you wanted the sequel, you got the sequel. If you didn't, don't watch it.
Pretty much.
I definitely like the third one of the series the best.
Yes. I feel like, so for me, I actually feel like the third one is more like a reboot than, because like I'm reading the back of it and I'm like, how do you not know? He's like, he hides in the school library where he finds a magic book that writes itself according to the imagination of the reader. Okay, by reading the back of this, I feel like Bastian has no idea about Fantasia and has never been there before. Like, that's just by reading the back of it, and like, I know better, but like,
yeah, in the trailer,
get on your A game. What is up with this?
Yeah, and I forget which one was it. 2 where the bullies got the book.
3.
Or was that that was 3? That's why I like 3.
It was 3. It was 3 because the Nasties take over. The Nasties take over Fantasia, and the Fantasia characters get booted out into the real world. What are your thoughts on the story within the story? Which is why I dubbed this Inception.
I mean, I'm okay with the concept of it. I thought it was cool that the kid is so into the book to the point where the book is now relying on him. But I don't think there was literally a 5-minute or so mark where they're like, yeah, he's controlling everything. He can save all of us. And I'm like, I wish we got more of that, and maybe that could have helped the story a little bit, but it was cool, I guess.
What about you, Rob?
A bit of a literary theme going on in these last two episodes, huh? Page Master did this better.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, it did.
I like Page Master. I actually like that
Absolutely
movie.
did.
and this did come out before that.
Yes.
But
10 years.
So we're talking about Bastion's storyline.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I liked the ending to it. Everything up to it felt slow, plodding, predictable. But the ending is why I recommended this movie. It is the moment where, because the entire time, Bastion's, every time they reference him in the attic of the school, he's just like, this can't be real. And I'm shouting as a little kid, it's real, it's real, it's real. Imagine a little nerdy boy that you want to punch in the face saying that. That's this. And then right at the end, the Empress explains to Atreyu that he is reading this story and that his life is also being watched by others. Us.
Mm-hmm.
And at that moment, I, as a little boy, I became super immersed in what was happening. Because suddenly, I'm Bastion. Bastion can hear me, can't he? So I get up and I start shouting, Bastion, say her name, say her name. Believe.
Also,
You were not alone.
the whole plot of the movie is like, oh, the princess or whatever she is, she just needs a new name. That's it. That's it.
It is just it. It is the adventure to learn that she needs the name and the quickly flying back to the ivory tower to give her the name. But the moment that he gave her, like, understood that, I was super into the movie because I felt like Bastion could hear me. No movie before then, and really no movie after that, ever caught that magic.
Yeah. It was a great, I won't call it a fourth wall break, but it was really a great way to kind of feel like there's more going on here than just Bastion reading this book.
It is technically a fourth wall break, but it's a soft break.
Yeah.
Because it's informing a character that there is a fourth wall, Bastion, and that there is a fifth wall. This is a fifth wall break. That we are being watched by someone who's being watched by someone else.
It was one of my honestly, it was one of my favorite points in the movie. Does anybody else have anything to add before I move on to the next question?
I'm good.
Oh, okay. Did we do favorite scene?
That was my favorite scene.
That was your favorite scene.
Ending credits. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, out of everything else that you have said today, that actually might have hurt my feelings.
Oh.
Hey, that's a great ending song. The NeverEnding
It is,
Story.
which is referenced in Stranger Things.
Honestly, I think it's, just when you think, hey, there goes Atreyu, he's about to die, which I'm like, oh, we still have a lot of this movie left. Here comes the dragon, grab my arm, and off they go. And then I guess he was out cold for, 2 days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I flew for 9,878 miles. So not the full 10,000.
I think my favorite scene is honestly Fantasia being recreated. But I don't know that I can truly pick a favorite scene. Because both of you have mentioned some really great scenes. But like for me, it was always the magic of watching Fantasia be
Yeah.
remade. That was my favorite part of the movie, was just being able to watch that and go, that's so awesome. He helped do this. But the final question is our least favorite scene, and my least favorite scene is the horse scene.
Oh, Artax dying.
Artax dying.
If that was maybe later on in the movie, I thought that was too early because I wasn't attached to anything at that point. Like kid going on quest, 2 minutes later, horse dies. If you really wanted me to care, and I'm just talking about me here, that should have been a little bit later in the movie. Just my thought.
No, I agree with you. But again, my opinion is kind of a little null and void because we've proven that I don't cry at pivotal emotional scenes. For me, it wasn't the emotional aspect of it. It was the fact that they walked into this trap and now they're kind of stuck, and now the horse is,
Fuck
sacrificing himself. Like, that turtle is creepy.
Fuck that turtle. He wasn't turtly enough for the Turtle Club.
Turtle. But yeah, that would have to be my least favorite scene. I really hate that it's referenced when they talk about like sad moments, and I'm just like, but yeah, it's sad, but nobody understands that. Pick a different one.
I understood it when I saw the I think it was Red Dead Redemption 2, where you see a skeleton of a horse in a tar pit.
You were telling me about this.
And I was like, I knew exactly where that from, and I didn't even see the movie.
Mm-hmm. Rob, what's your least favorite scene?
Bit of a point. The Artax scene is the reason why I like this child actor, because he actually acted well in that scene. Like, it happened too early, but the kid nailed the performance.
Especially because I think he was attached to the horse.
Oh yeah, he had been riding that thing for a while.
And then he gets it back.
Yeah. Least favorite scene probably has to be the meeting with the Moila, the turtle itself.
Yeah, that would be mine too.
Yeah.
I thought that whole fucking conversation was pointless as shit and aggravated the piss out of me.
It just kept plodding on. And it just kept sneezing at him, and it's just like, oh my god, just get to the fucking point already.
What was the thing the turtle kept saying over and over again?
Not that it matters, or not
that
I care.
That.
Yeah.
Once again, another moment where I almost shut the damn thing off.
Oh no, he is like, if I had to pick a character that I absolutely like hate in this movie, it's the turtle. It's the turtle. Every time, without fail, it's the turtle.
So what else we got, Susie?
That was it. I guess like my final thoughts on this movie would be to if you thought the first movie was boring and you didn't really like it, give the third one a try.
Do you have to watch the second one?
No.
Not really.
Do you understand the third one? You don't need to watch the second one. To me, they're separate. Like, if you're gonna watch the second one, you should watch the first one. But if you want to just